Which finance careers are safe from AI and which are doomed? After successfully transitioning my career into working at one of the top investment firms as an investment analyst, I've seen firsthand which skills cannot be replaced by AI and which skills are being replaced by AI as we speak. In this video, I'm going to review what makes a role survive AI, and then I'm going to rank the top finance jobs right now that are most susceptible to survive AI in each of those skill sets. Make sure that you stick to the end, because in this video, I've included a career assessment guide where you can see how likely you are to survive AI. And then included in that career success guide, I've included a 4-week skills transformation guide. This is all the skills that I've put together that I've learned after transitioning successful to a top investment firm and working in finance, so you can navigate your career in finance and survive AI. So what makes a role be able to survive AI? What makes it not susceptible to AI? I think to first understand this question, we must understand what AI does very well. AI is nothing more but a giant database. Data in, data out. So put information in, it's gonna transcribe, analyze information, and put it out. So any type of role that's analytical based, subject matter expert based, is highly susceptible to being taken over by AI. So if there's a deteriorating value in being a subject matter expert, knowing a lot of information because anybody can access it, AI, then how do we as financial professionals survive in this environment? And what skills do we need to focus on? Anytime you're dealing with money, money is very emotional for your clients. Imagine if you made an investment and unfortunately it's not working out very well, and the only person you had to talk to was AI, right? Like you're going on the computer, you're typing, hey, why isn't my investment working? And it's giving you this standard answer of risk to reward, and it's not working because the market's down. That's not gonna make you feel very good. I know if it were me, it wouldn't make me feel very good. On the other hand, every single day, you might deal with clients, if an investment's going bad, that want to speak with you as an investment advisor, and you're able to offer them emotional support. You're able to offer them comfort. You're able to offer them the answers that they need. This makes them feel good. The human interaction factor. So what AI does very well is handle information, any type of role that's analytical, any type of role that doesn't include a lot of human interaction on a day-to-day basis. So now that we've established what AI does very well and what it doesn't do very well, let's walk through a career guide step by step and see what are the best jobs that will survive AI no matter what happens based on their roles. So let's hop over to the iPad. And what I've done here is I have broken every single role into these categories, the following 4 categories. I've put client interaction at 40%, right? That's the weight. Strategic communication, your ability to break down complex ideas and communicate them effectively to a client, is at 30%. Emotional intelligence is at 20%. I put this a little bit lower because AI is getting better and better at emotional intelligence, but it's not quite there as a human yet to be able to interact with clients. So it's at 20%. Network development, I put it at 10%. This could easily be first, but the reason I put it at 10% is because AI is actually being very, very, very good at networking. There's all kind of algorithms on LinkedIn. There's all kind of algorithms on social media, even YouTube. So the ability to expand your network is getting affected by AI, where you can build a large network and technically not be present anywhere. You can do this digitally and remotely. So I put this at the end. And next, I put together a grading system. If it got 4, that means it's excellent. This skill set in this particular role is excellent to survive AI. If it's got a 1, it's really limited. So let's start with role number 1. Role number 1 is investor relations professional. These are individuals that typically work for a mutual fund, a private equity fund, an investment fund, and their primary role is communicating with all the investors. Think about a large private equity fund like Vista Equity Partners. They have a lot of investors and they need professionals that specifically communicate with investors. So for this role, I put client interaction at a 3. It's not a 4 because as an investment relations professional, you may not have to necessarily build a client base. You may just be answering incoming questions. And technically, to some degree, AI can replace this client interaction. Investors like to talk to real people, so I put this out at 3. Next, strategic communication is out at 3 as well. You're going to have to be able to communicate with investors effectively in this role. I also put it out at 3. You need to have a high degree of emotional intelligence to be in investor relations, because 9 times out of 10, if you're receiving a call or a question, there is some type of emotion tied to it. So you need to be able to navigate these clients and investors in their emotional intelligence. Network development, I put this at 2. Your network always is important, but typically in an investor relations role, you don't have to go out and expand the network for the firm. You only have to take incoming calls and answer inquiries that are incoming instead of going out and building business for the firm. So that's our first role. Investor relations professionals. If you work in investor relations, it's hard to replace with AI because the investors, they don't want to speak to an automated person. They want to speak to a live person that's handling the investment, that can directly answer questions. Next up, we have a financial coach. This is something that's been popping up a lot with millennials. These coaches are all over social media. They are not investment advisors, so they're not registered with the SEC. They may not be a certified financial planner, but they offer coaching services, something like debt resolution or helping you understand your values of money or your emotional ties to money. For client interaction, I'm going to put this out of 2. If you look at a lot of the coaches' roles, a lot of them have courses that are automated and they don't interact all the time with their clients. But it is important that they have some type of social presence. Social media has been very big for these financial coaches. So I'm going to put that at a 2. Strategic communication, I'm going to put it at a 3. In this role as a financial coach, you need to understand individuals, understand how they communicate, and be able to break down really complex topics and make it easy for them. For example, hey, how do I pay off my car note? You need to be able to break down the concepts of interest, the concepts of bad debt, and be able to strategically communicate that with patience. Emotional intelligence, very similar. You're dealing with emotional beings with their money. So I'm going to put that as a 3. Network development, I'm going to put it as a 3 as well. There are a lot of AI tools that are popping up, allowing influencers to expand their network. But still, if you're going to be a financial coach, you need a large network to have a pool of clients to choose from. So first, we have investor relations professional. Next, the next job is a financial coach. Most of the time when investors are hiring a coach, they want a live person that can help them do exactly what the title says, right? Coach them through some type of problem and help them with their emotional state with money. Next up, we have financial advisor. This role will survive AI. Being a financial advisor is not a subject matter expert role as many may think. Being a financial advisor is just as much an emotional relationship interaction role. So for financial advisor, I'm going to put client interaction at 3. The reason this is not a 4 is because you can have a situation where you're a financial advisor and you're not responsible for bringing in new business. You may be working in the background, doing planning work under a senior advisor. Still, if you're going to have a successful career as a financial advisor, you need strong client interaction skills, which cannot be replaced by AI. Next up, I have strategic communication. Strategic communication is going to be at a 4 because when you're a financial advisor, your ability to communicate is your survivability. If you cannot communicate with a client, clear concepts and ideas, you're not going to be a financial advisor for very long. Next up is emotional intelligence. This has to be at a premium as well. When you are a financial advisor, you are typically dealing with retail clients, everyday, hardworking people making decisions for their family, and they're making decisions that are very emotional. AI cannot replace the emotional intelligence required by a financial advisor to handle these complex issues. Next up, network development. I mark network development down for a financial advisor simply because, like I said, you may not be responsible for always bringing in new business. You may work as an advisor for a large firm, handling existing clients brought to you, but still, your network is important. You're going to need to have a large bank of not only clients, but other professionals that you work with, like estate planners, attorneys, bankers, these type of individuals to help your clients. Chief Investment Officer is next up. What does the Chief Investment Officer do? Chief Investment Officer is the head of a fund or the head of investments at any type of wealth management firm. Let me ask you something. As good as AI is, Do you want a computer algorithm running your entire money? Imagine if you're managing millions of dollars. I know I don't want my money decisions being made based on some computer algorithm somewhere. I'd way rather have a person. That's why this job is going to survive AI. Client interaction. This one's out of 4. It's out of 4 because you need to have the ability to interact with investment managers that you're going to be investing with as the chief investment officer, but also your investors that you're serving. You're going to be writing letters to them. You're going to be communicating during volatile market times. So chief investment officer, client interaction is out of 4. Strategic communication right up there, 4. You're going to have to be able to communicate really complex investment ideas to very simple terms to investors that not only make them comfortable, but help them buy into your vision as the chief investment officer. You're also, in some instances, going to have to answer to a board of some sort. Imagine you're the chief investment officer at a university endowment, and you're going to have to be able to communicate with a board and thoroughly communicate your ideas and your plans for the investment fund. Next up, we have emotional intelligence. I marked this one down. You do need to have emotional intelligence as far as market sense, understanding market participants, emotions to money. But as a chief investment officer, your primary role is running the investment side of the investment fund wherever you are. And you're not as much touchy-feely with the client as a financial advisor. You're not as intimate. Usually you're just coming in there, handling investment duties, and then leaving it at that. You're not talking to them about college and kids and all those other things. So I put that as 2. Network development, 3. This one got marked down as well because you may be in a situation at a university, maybe a chief investment officer at an endowment, and your network's pretty much already built out. You're stepping into that role. You already have the investments, and now you're managing them and also managing risk. At the same time, as a CIO, it goes without saying, you need to have a large network. You need to have a large network of people that believe in you, of others that you can invest in, whether that's invest in private equity funds, private credit funds, real estate funds, those kind of things. So your network is going to be important, and AI just cannot replace going to those conferences, meeting those individuals, and shaking hands. So chief investment officer is up. Next, and finally, we have a capital formation specialist. What is a capital formation specialist? A capital formation specialist is someone who is responsible for raising capital. Let me give you an example. Any investment fund or firm, if you're raising capital to buy multifamily real estate, if you're starting a private equity fund, if you're starting a private credit hard money lending fund, you need professionals and individuals that are going to go out there and raise capital. Typically at an investment firm, there's those that run the investment, they run the analytical side, and then there's capital formation specialists. It's these army of individuals that go out, they take meetings, they talk to people, and they raise capital. In this business, raising capital is probably bar none the hardest thing to do, but also the most important. If there's no money, there's nothing for us to do. So your ability to go out and raise capital is irreplaceable by AI. So let's run through the numbers. Client interaction, absolutely a 4. You're going to have to take a lot of meetings, a lot of lunches, a lot of coffees, talking to a lot of people. Most of them probably aren't going to invest in your product, but you need to build strong relationships and have strong client interaction that AI just cannot replace. Strategic communication goes hand in hand with that. You need to be able to take the idea that you're trying to sell, see how it fixes somebody else's problem, and communicate with them to let them know that your product can fix their problem in a strategic way. Emotional intelligence has to be at an all-time high. Whether you're dealing with professionals or you're dealing with the actual retail client investors, your ability to navigate people's emotions, since emotions are always tied to our financial decisions, has to be utmost high to raise capital. Next up, network development, definitely at a 4. You need to have a large network. Think about it. If you're a financial professional, right? Can you say, if I was responsible for raising $10 million for an investment fund, do I have the contacts and the ability to raise $10 million? If you do, you have a ton of job opportunities available. There's no shortage of people that need others to raise $10 million for them. If you can't, you have to expand your network even more so that you have that ability to pick up the phone and call on investors that can write a check and get things done. So all in all, when we see the results, how does this shape out for the best finance jobs that will survive AI. Number one, capital formation specialist. There will always be a need for those to go out and raise capital, and AI cannot go out and raise capital. It can be really smart at maybe writing the text to do it, but it can go out, shake those hands, build the trust that's needed, and raise the capital. Number two, a chief investment officer. I don't want an AI running my portfolio. A lot of large institutions don't want AI running their portfolio. Even if the chief investment officer is using AI and leveraging AI, there will always be a face on top of the investment fund that they can call on as the chief investment officer. Chief investment officer, you will survive the AI movement. Financial advisor is next up. Financial advisors build a lot of relationships with individuals. They're near and dear to a lot of families. Most clients are not with financial advisors because they're super smart. They're with financial advisors because they have a relationship with that financial advisor in some type of emotional connection that AI simply cannot replace. Number four is a financial coach. Taking a step back from a financial advisor, we have coaches that help individuals with their financial habits, debt resolution, getting their emotions in order around money. And that's number four on the list. Number five, investor relations professional. These are professionals that communicate with investors at an investment firm. And most investors always want to talk to a live human. Now that we know the top 5 roles that will survive AI, what I have included in this video is a career assessment guide that you're going to be able to download for free. The link is below. I put it in the description. This career assessment guide is going to walk you through and allow you to see how safe your career is from AI. Included in the career assessment guide is a 4-week training that I created from scratch. This takes together all the skills that I learned over the last 2 years since transitioning my career to working in finance, working at a top investment firm, all the skills that are most important to know and that will help you survive AI. This is in a workbook format. And if you walk through these skills, I've taken a lot of time and thought to go through this. You will have the skills necessary to survive AI. You can download that document in the description below. I've included a link. So if this is a topic that interests you, check out my other video where I explain why I left my previous career to go work in finance. Maybe you're thinking about switching to a career in finance, or maybe you're trying to build out a different route in your career in finance. I walked through all the steps, what my rationale was. Thank you for tuning in to Finance with Santiago, and I'm out of here.